Here we go. What's happening, YouTube? Or at least for those of you that could get through, because an hour ago, YouTube TV, and all YouTube services were down. But you know what? Nothing can stop the Black Avengers of current culture. That's me. It's the living legend Larry, and we're here. And we see Mike Willie and Tressa's in the building. Larry, how you feeling?
In the spot. They are already here, man. They're like, man, forget them outages. You can't keep us down. You can't keep us off the tube.
Yeah, man. Yeah, well, we're going to support our young brothers on YouTube who don't fake it till they make it. They keep it real. They don't get up here and spread a lot of lies. They don't do stuff like putting turtles in microwaves and busting their head open to get views. We just bring you honest to goodness information, entertainment, and views. And we're happy to be here.
Talk a little ish in the interim, you know?
Yeah, but we're not lying.
We're not lying.
We're not up here lying. We're not up here faking it till we make it. You know, we're not doing that. And I brought that up, ladies and gentlemen, because a Facebook friend of mine who is also a YouTube follower, she said just to me the other day, she was like, man, Lamont, YouTube is starting to be so fake. It's starting to be so over the top. Yeah. And, you know, I mentioned to her, I was like, because when people bring the kind of content me and Larry bring, it's usually boring for them because it's not anything sexy. It's not exotic. It's not outside the norm. And when people get desensitized to that, then they want to scream, oh, I want things to be normal. Why can't people be normal? Well, you got to watch normal stuff, ladies and gentlemen. I know you guys do, but you got to stop watching these people who are crooked, faking it till they make it, lying about everything. You've got to support humble brothers who try to tell you the honest to goodness, factual truth. And that's what we do on this channel and what we will always do.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of stuff on YouTube that I see in some of the other videos on Facebook too, they do these little, they try and make it seem as if some of the videos they're shooting are authentic, and they're clearly set up. And you know, you see these videos saying people, oh, look at this bully who got instant karma. And I mean, it's clearly set up. You see these other little things that are clearly set up, and it's just, you know, we don't roll like that. I mean, it's one thing if they're doing a skit, do a skit, but, you know, don't try and deceive people. But part of the problem is with that is that the YouTube algorithm rewards that type of video, and it promotes it and pushes it to the recommended list, and more people see it and find it and watch it, which then continues to propel it up the list. And, you know, just that's what happens with it. So,
well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep fighting the good fight as long as we can. And you guys know how we do this show. You pick a number 1 through 6. And my pickers today, Mike Willie, Buzz, Tressa, DeAndre Lucas, let's see, Kendall Suggs. You all get a number after we figure out what Larry is going to pick. And what's up, Alexis, Buzz in the building, Cash Money, DeAndre Lucas, Mike Willie. We appreciate you guys being with the support gaming in the building. And Larry, what number you picking 1 through 6 to get this thing kicked off? DeAndre done picked number 6.
He did. All right. I'm going to go with number 6. No, I'm just messing with you, DeAndre.
And Kendall has picked number 4.
Number 4. I see Tressa C pick number 2. Man, you guys aren't really leaving me with much. I'm going to go with number 5 then. Let's go with number 5.
Oh, boy. Somebody in the comment section already talking about this, Larry. Okay, CJ32, pick a number. You got number 3 or number 1? Pick a number so I can go ahead and have you own the books. Mike Willie was number 1.
And this CJ, dude, he's always in here talking smack, man.
Well,
he's always in here with some. I don't know what it is, man. I think I'm gonna leave him be for him. I'm gonna let him go ahead and I'm gonna give him some rope so he can hang himself, and then I'm gonna come for him.
Okay. Well, let's see here. Larry, you picked number 5, and we're gonna go ahead and dive on into number 5. CBS Network, Larry, has said going forward, all their reality TVs are going to be 50% minority. And that's what CJ35 was saying he think would be a bad play. And let me show you the graphic that they posted. Here it is right here. CBS sets mandate for reality TV shows to have 50% BIPOC talent. Basically, ladies and gentlemen, that's an acronym for minorities. And I'll read you the whole thing. CBS is already working on making its scripted shows more diverse. But it is now setting bigger targets for diversity with this reality program. CBS reality shows will follow a new network rule that demands that reality series must have 50% of its cast be biopic, Black, Indigenous, or people of color. The network has also committed to having at least 25% of its yearly unscripted development budget spared for that same group of people. Larry, good or bad, will this mess up the quality of the content? How do you feel about CBS making a very bold move?
No, I mean, I think it's right where it should be. It's right in line with where the country is and the demographics of our country. I mean, we have right now, I mean, the vast majority of these shows, when you watch them, you watch the Bachelor, the Bachelorette, or all these other Big Brother, all these types of shows. Generally, what you see is, like, let's say there's 10 people on those shows, 8 of them will be white, and then there'll be 2 minorities, usually like a Black person and an Asian person or something like that. And that is not representative to the population of our country. White people make up, if I'm not mistaken, I believe they make up less than half the population. And we always see a ton of white men on these shows, and white men don't make up that percentage. White men, I think, are like 30-something% of the population now. You know, I'm not sure exactly what the number is, but it's not high enough to warrant the high percentages that they are represented on reality TV or TV in general. So I think for CBS to simply make this move is really just a smart business decision. What they're seeing is a writing on the wall saying, hey, we have a lot of people from different groups that are out there, and they want to see themselves represented on TV. They want to see themselves represented in scripted shows. They want to see themselves represented in reality TV programming. And it's just going to be good for ratings. And anybody who watches any good content that's out there, they will realize that ultimately, if you have people from various races, it's good content, it doesn't matter that there's people from different races. People want good content. What happens is when you take situations and you make something which could be very good content, but you just say, well, we're only casting white people. What happens is you get a lot of people that are pissed off. They're like, I'm just not going to watch it. I'm not interested in that type of crap. I'm not interested in seeing my people excluded. So I think you can still have, I mean, diversity does not mean stuff is not great. I mean, look at Lovecraft Country. People want to consider that a diverse show. It's really just a Black show, but there were Black and white people in there, and it was a fantastic show. You know, The Watchmen, fantastic show.
Yeah, I think it's just going to come down to the quality of the content. But here's the problem. Most reality TV is trash, and most reality TV is scripted. I mean, they tell you it's not. They start out on the premise of these are basically C-list, D-list celebrities, and we don't script everything, but we set a narrative that we want them to behave upon. And usually it paints Black people in a bad light. Not saying that all reality shows paint Black people in a bad light. Most of the stuff on CBS don't do that. But if the content of the shows is good, I don't have a problem with them trying to do that. But what I would like to know is why did they just want to do reality TV and not also try to bump up the diversity in their scripted TV, Larry? Do you think that's a pay problem? Or do you think that it would be more difficult to do that? Or do you really see them trying to give more opportunity to people who are used to not getting a lot of opportunity?
Honestly, I believe that what they see is the writing on the wall. They know good and well from every statistician that has been talking about this very subject for the last 20 years or so. They have been saying that soon our country is going to be a minority majority country. And I think CBS is simply trying to get ahead of the curve. They're simply trying to say, we want to be able to have all these various groups represented in such a way that we can capture the demographics of all those groups. We do not want to be on the outs when people are upset and start protesting a network saying, why is it when we go through the list of your shows and see all your scripted shows, why are 80% of them all white? Why are 75% of them all white males or something to that effect? They don't want to be on the end of that. We've seen that happen before. And I think they are just simply seeing the writing on the wall, and they're just saying, we're going to make changes. We're going to make changes so that all the country is represented. The people of this country, whether they be Black, whether they be Hispanic, whether they be indigenous, whether they be people of color, that they are represented. So I think it's a business decision. I think it's a smart business decision. And it's just the way it is, you know.
I can agree with the business decision, but let's see how it plays out. If they don't give them quality content or ratings generating content, it could fail. And then you would have a whole sloth of people who said, well, we tried diversity. Look at what CBS did and it didn't work. So whatever they do on reality TV is going to have to be good. But like I said, most of CBS's reality TV is highly popular now. They do things like The Amazing Race, Big Brother, and people absolutely love those shows. I know women and men who swear by those two by themselves. So I think that, like you said, it's definitely going to be a ratings pop. And if it works out well, you'll probably see more networks doing the same thing.
Here's the thing with that. When you say that they have to do well in the ratings, most TV shows when they come out don't do good in the ratings. If you look at most of the TV shows, when they have these shows, they go out there, they go to the upfronts every year, and then they put them out there and they put them out there when it's pilot season. Most of those new shows fail. They get out there, they're not, and even if they're good shows, they just don't find an audience. Either they're in the wrong time slot, or maybe it's the wrong sort of social climate for that particular show. Whatever. There's a lot of reasons why shows fail. The vast majority of them do, and so it's one of those things where I think they're gonna have more shows with more diverse casts, and I hope that they don't blame the failures on that diversity and realize these shows are not failing at any greater rate than the previous seasons of shows that have come out. And so they'll just have to go ahead and wait till they get those hits, because we've had some big bangers with Black people on there. You look at shows like This Is Us and How to Get Away with Murder and Grey's Anatomy. And and those were big time shows, and they were well diverse. Yeah, Army Wives, and I mean, there's a whole host of shows with diverse cast, and it's just like anything else. You have to find your audience, and most shows that get out there don't, and that has nothing to do. I mean, these are shows that are white, Black, diverse, all of them. The vast majority of them don't find an audience, so you just have to keep on putting out diverse, shows with diverse cast, and they'll find their audience.
Right. So we'll see. We'll stay on it and see what happens. I'm hoping for the best if they do it.
And I want to address. I told what's his name. I'm gonna have to come for him a little bit. I'm not gonna come for him too hard. CJ32. He's talking about. He said something to the effect about why don't they write Colorblind or something like that. And I have to say that's completely bogus. You can't write colorblind. We don't live in a colorblind world. We don't live in a colorblind country. We don't live in a colorblind society. We live in a society where there are divisions and there are categories based on race, based on gender, based on sexual orientation, based on economic status, all kinds of ways that people are categorized, and you can't write from some colorblind neutral position because it doesn't exist. If you write something like that, it will come out wholly inauthentic. And someone like me, I'm Black. Don't try and write that out of me. Don't try. I hate it when people try and say, oh, I'm colorblind. I don't see color. Well, then I feel like you don't see me, because a big part of who I am is being black. All the stuff that I have to go through, all the stuff that Lamont has to go through, these are all things that make us who we are as people. And if you try and strip that out because you want to try and project out some fake political, correctness crap about being colorblind, that's just bogus and inauthentic, and no one believes it. No one believes anyone's colorblind, That's just, and no one's asking people to be. I'm not asking people out in the world to be colorblind. I'm asking you not to be racist. There's a big difference. You don't have to be colorblind to not be racist. Just don't be a racist asshole. Don't be racist, period. You can be an asshole. I'm okay with you being an asshole. Just don't be a racist while you're doing it. If you don't like something that I said, or if you get pissed off at me because I cut in front of you in line or bump into you or something, don't let your default be to go and call me some sort of racially derogatory word. Call me something else. Call me a shrimp dick, pencil geek or something. I don't know. Whatever it is you want to call me something else. Just don't default to racism.
Shrimp dick pencil geek. What the heck? Man, I'm moving on. I've heard it all now.
That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. It's just don't be racist. That's all I'm saying.
My man said, ladies and gentlemen, DeAndre picked number 6. Now, I don't know if number 6 is going to make Buzz laugh, because it's hard to make. If you can make Buzz laugh, you can probably do stand-up comedy. Number 6 is Try Not to Laugh, and it's another gym fail. I caught like 30 seconds of it, and instead of laughing, it really just made me just say, So we'll take a look. Here we go. Man, why you? Oh my God. Ooh. I'm not gonna watch. Okay, that's not too bad. Bruh.
Anybody just hung himself. What the fuck's doing?
Man, them Klan rallies ain't working no more. Ooh. Oh no, the music tell you something crazy. Damn. Bruh, you can't be doing pull-ups on your, come on, bro. Golly. God. And see, there's no excuse for, what the? My man doing head push-ups.
Cool.
I'm not watching. God, that's a headache. If not a trope. What the? What in the? Man, get out of here. Ooh. This never ends well. Pile driver. What the?
Pase pa' acá, papi.
No, not the old lady. Oh my God. That's a leg extension machine. What is he doing? Larry, you probably could make 1 million of these videos. First of all, my man was riding the leg machine like it was a pony. I mean, bro.
Oh my God.
And then
what is he doing?
Man, I have no idea what he was doing. Maybe he needed something on his private area to make it feel a little bit more vigorous. Maybe he was trying to invigorate the area. I don't know. I laughed and I cringed. We have got to keep white girls and medicine balls off treadmills. Because
what is the deal with a medicine ball and a treadmill?
Larry, that chick could have had her little neck, her little head sucked right underneath that thing. I thought it was going to. I'm glad she got up laughing. But Larry, that one looked bad. Help me out here, bro.
Now I will say this, because I have had a home gym before where I've not something serious like you have, but I've had a bench and weights and stuff here where I've not in this place, but in the past where I've lived with my brother where I so I could work out at home. And I would sometimes when you have weights at home, you work out when you feel like it. You might, for me, because I've been a night owl most of my life, there would be times when I just be up 2 a.m. and decide I'm gonna go ahead and just start lifting. And I will say this, it is not recommended that you ever lift really heavy by yourself. Like, do not with free weights when you're benching, especially do not max out. Like, this dude looked like he had his camera set up because he was maxing out and trying to flex. It's just not a good idea, because if you can't get it back up and that stuff comes down on your neck. I mean, I've had it a few times where I've done, not where I was maxing out, but just where I've been lifting. And I'm just like trying to get that one extra rep in and just can't get it up. And the next thing you know, that weight's sitting on your chest and you're reaching across, trying to push weights off. And I had to learn the hard way, because when the first time that happened, I'm not gonna say it's happened only once. The first time it happened, I had the locks on the end of the weight on the bar, so I couldn't even push them off. And I had to roll the thing down and damn near, flat iron my dick, because it was just, I had to roll it over top of me. So then after that, I stopped putting the locks on the weight so I can push it off if I need to, but not recommended.
At the end of the day, if you're going to lift heavy, I'm all for people trying to lift heavy and not be afraid of failure, as long as you can do it in a safe manner.
Right.
These people doing the bench press, if you know you're that close to your max, don't have it where it comes all the way to your chest and it can roll on your neck. Have it stop at least right here so you can at least slip your head out. I mean, I lift heavy, and I lift heavy by myself all the time, but I always put safety measures in place. But Larry, there's no excuse for the girl with the medicine ball on the treadmill. It's like 3 of them. What the hell, man? I mean, you asking.
I want to know what they were thinking with that old lady. They had that treadmill going like Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt speeding, but they thought she was going to step on it and be rolling.
See, now Larry, check out your girl Muchella. Muchella thinks she's slick. She tried to slide in there and say, not have the locks is dangerous. Muchella, I know exactly what you're trying to get at. You didn't have to refer to it as locks. You could have called it safety clips. You could have called it pins. You think you're slick. You think, but you know what?
Can I give you a pound right there?
No.
Right there.
This is what I want to know. What in the hell are y'all gonna say when one of these days I have Professor Megram on this channel for an interview? I bet y'all won't be talking about locks and keys then. I bet you won't be doing it then.
Man, hold on a minute. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Boy. Muchella, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. I thought you had my back, all of it, and you in here bringing up locks, doors, and keys. Y'all ought to be ashamed of yourself, Moochie. The nerve. All right, people.
I'm sorry. I had to go. Here we are. There we go.
Here we go. You know what? Okay. Since Larry Muchella, since Larry Muchella, Kendall, and everybody got jokes, I'm gonna go get a forehead.
There we go. Just like that. Professor Megram just opened up. See, so if you bring on the show, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have this lock right here, and I'm gonna put it up, and I'm gonna do just like this. I'm just gonna hold it up. I'm gonna turn it on. I'm gonna put my finger there. blink, and I'm gonna unlock her. All of a sudden, just like that, she's gonna jump through the computer, and she's gonna get down like she gets down.
Moving right along, ladies and gentlemen. My family Kindle picked number 4. And let's get on with number 4. Number 4, Larry, was this a lapse in judgment, or was this more of what you say when you say some celebrities, you want them to have a voice, but if they're going to have a voice, they need to do their research? I think we've got a little bit of that going on, because check this out. So Reebok was doing a new ad campaign, and they used the homegirl Cardi B. Now, Cardi B got backlash from this because in this ad, she's supposed to be some Hindu goddess. But the Hindu people, Larry, they was highly offended by that. And look at what some of them had to say. People are saying Cardi B is paying homage to our Hindu goddess Durga. So as a Hindu, I want to say that wearing a shoe in a temple is prohibited. Durga May is not to be used as an aesthetic. Durga May is never depicted bare body. This is not homage, this is disrespect. And you can see the other comments down there. Now, to Cardi B's respect, she did come back and apologize, Larry, and said that she should have informed herself. What do you think about that situation?
No, I think that if she came out and apologized and said that she shouldn't have done it and she should have informed herself, as long as they pull the ad, I'm fine with the apology. I think there's a lot of stuff that people do and have done that is culturally insensitive and cultural appropriation. And we've done it so much that it seems like it's just normal and part of just the regular American lexicon when it's not. I mean, it's just for a long time, people joked about Native Americans and people would run up and do the whole hand on their thing, like they're making the chanting noise and say how and all that stuff. And it was just completely insulting and inappropriate. And, the whole thing about people wearing, the whole Indian chief feathered, hat thing, all that stuff was just cultural appropriation and inappropriate. And I think that as a society, as we move away from more of the typical white male dominated society and we become more of a true melting pot as America is supposed to be, we have to learn to appreciate other people's cultures and not degrade them or not appropriate them for our commercial needs. And I think there's going to be some growing pains in that process, But I think what's more important is, like you said, if she apologized for it and said she should have educated herself, as long as they pull the ads down, I'm okay with the fact that she made a mistake, as long as she doesn't do it again.
Well, I'm okay with the fact that she's
in the same way. She's going to make more mistakes.
I'm okay with the fact that she made a mistake, but I'm not okay with Reebok. They're supposed to know better. Now, Reebok is a stock traded big ass company. And I'm not fully absorbing Cardi B of her culpability, but I am very thankful that not only did she apologize, Larry, but she said she was wrong because she didn't understand the culture and she should have educated herself.
Right.
I'm with that. But Reebok, whoever greenlit this, you got to know better. You could lose customers over this message you just pulled right here. And it'd be one thing if Reebok informed Cardi B, well, this is not going to be the correct likeness of this goddess, and we still want you to do it. But they didn't do that. From what I'm reading, somebody in Reebok just greenlit it and said, hey, run with it and go for it. Now it looks like Reebok is either they're going to have to come back and make a new, more sensitive depiction, maybe use Cardi B in that light, or they're just going to have to pull the ad and lose revenue. So, for as much as they want to get mad at Cardi, I also think you've got to give Reebok some culpability, and maybe they should be coming out saying, we're sorry, we was insensitive, we didn't know, we might should have talked to someone from the Hindu delegation or representation, whatever, so that we could have made a better depiction of your goddess. Because, Larry, think about it like this. What if a shoe company decided they want to sell Jesus Christ shoes, and they made him a redhead, and they depict him I don't know. I don't think Jesus wore shoes, did he? I think he just walked barefoot. And they depicted him something he totally was not. You know how many Christians would be trying to burn down whatever company done that in this country?
Yeah. I mean, imagine if they tried to come out. Imagine if they tried to come out with a hiking boot called the Tubmans. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, people would be pissed off, and they'd be like, "That's the most straight up some bull, and you can't do that." I think that, like you said, I'm not gonna absolve Cardi B completely, because she is at this point an extremely successful and savvy marketer. I mean, she made much of who she is today because of her ability to market herself and brand herself. And when you do that, you are responsible to your audience and to your brand, and you have to make sure that you protect that. And some of that might just be doing a little bit of research. Like, you might have to have somebody on your team that you can turn to and say, does anything about this look crazy? Like, does anything about this look like it's not kosher? Is anybody going to be offended by this? And have someone that's willing to say, yeah, there's going to be some people offended by this, or, you know, and not be afraid to push back, instead of, you don't want a bunch of yes men around you. Otherwise you end up with a situation like this. Because if I was on that team, I would have simply have said, look, you can't do this, but you can do like what's it called? The Vitruvian Man, the dude that Da Vinci, I think it was Da Vinci that did it, where you have the guy with all the different arms. I don't think there's any cultural appropriation there, you know?
No. I mean,
it's a scientific drawing. I think that you could have used that in a very artistic and creative way to get across a similar message.
Well, at the end of the day, with any situation like this, you should go to the representatives of those group of people, like the Washington Redskins. Native Americans for the longest time have said
the Washington football team.
Redskins is derogatory. It's very derogatory. Well, I'm about to get to that if you give me a second. They have said that it's very derogatory, and for the longest time, they wanted it down. They wanted the name to be changed to something else. Because if you don't know, Redskin basically is a bleeding to death Native American. That's where the term Redskin comes from. And they didn't want that.
It's like calling a black person the N-word.
To them, yes.
Yeah.
And it took Black Lives Matter, George Floyd, and an uprising just to get this for Native Americans who've had a plight with America before we even got here. And if you're going to do something like this that's supposed to be representative of a culture, check with the culture. Check, I don't know. Reebok's got a ton of money. Go check with the culture. Have your team do their research. Reebok need to apologize to. Simple as that.
I'll say this, that anytime you're using someone else's religion or religious iconography to promote a commercial, a commercial product, it usually doesn't go well. It's just no one wants to see their religion, commercialized like that. And I mean, I could tell you for a fact that Reebok would not have come out with an ad. And I can tell you for a fact, Cardi B would not have come out with an ad where they made her up looking like Muhammad and came out with the Reebok Muhammads or something to that effect, because Reebok's offices would have gotten threatened overnight, and they would have said, if anybody's caught wearing these shoes in the street, they're going to be a target for violence. And people would have been like, oh, you can't do that, you can't hurt me because of my shoes. And people would have been like, okay, wear them and find out, because they know. They know. And I think that there are certain groups where people just are allowed to take leeway, and because because they don't have a long history of going after people that use their religious iconography in that way. But I think now that we're in a climate where people are being more sensitive to it, it's not a good look. It's just simply not a good look,
Yep.
So,
and that leads me to number one, which was picked by Mike Willie. Mike Willie, you'll like this one. I can't wait to hear what Larry gonna have to say about this. Check this out. This is from Pastor Talbot Swain, pastor, megachurch. Listen to what he says, Larry. If one white woman accused me of rape, my career would be over. A white man accused of assault by 22 women being able to run for a second term as president with half the country still supporting him is all of you need to know about racism, white male patriarchy, and white supremacy. Larry, does he have a point?
Man, we've been talking about that for the last 5 years. We were talking about that when Trump started running and all the ridiculousness. Let's not even just forget, bro. I mean, it's not even just the rapes. That's like the worst of it. But before we even got to the rapes, you had the whole thing that he's been married 3 times. He has what, 4 kids, 5 kids by 3 different women. I mean, could you imagine if Kamala Harris had 3 different baby daddies? You know, could you imagine if Barack Obama had 3 different baby daddies or different baby mamas?
Oh,
you
hell
know?
No.
I mean,
or Larry, this is the one that get me the most. This is the one that gets me the most because these are irrefutable facts. You paid off a porn star that you lied about. You paid her off with campaign funds that come from the people, and you got caught, and you slept with this woman during the time your current wife was pregnant. And these are all facts. This is something that was played on Fox News. This was played everywhere. And half the country still voted for him. Larry, if I aim my penis at another woman and get caught, you might as well just give me the mark of the beast because they're never going to let me do nothing else ever again.
Yeah.
Man, it's ridiculous, the double standard. It's ridiculous the way they've tried to make us think for all these years, you need to be this way, when basically they were just telling you, just be a good Negro, is what they was telling you. And they didn't want to come out and say it because they couched it in patriotism, love the country, love thy neighbor, all this bullshit. And we see it on full display with everything Trump has gotten away with. And Larry, there are people that voted for him because they want to be able to get away with the same crap.
Well, yeah, because people have said before that Donald Trump is the poor man's idea of a rich man. Like most of these poor folks have never been around anybody truly wealthy, so they don't understand the way people with true wealth, how they move and how they are. So they think he is what a rich man should be. They think he's the way they're weak, and so they think this is the way a strong man should be, but he's really a weak dude. You know, I mean, he is the opposite of everything that he presents himself to be, and most of his supporters, I honestly don't know. I want to say most of his supporters don't understand. I think a lot of them don't understand, but ultimately, I think what it comes down to is that half this country is still horribly, horribly racist, and the fact that Donald Trump, it allows them to be openly racist and not have to hide in fear or in shame anymore is something that they want to be able to have in their daily life. They want to be able to get online and call people N-words and everything else and not have to worry about losing their job. Right now, it still happens. Right now, you get caught online, you go off on somebody in a grocery store and drop all kinds of N-bombs and people videotape it and post it. They're going to find out this is a woman. This is John, Joe, Josephine, mulatto that works at ABC, store in North Carolina. And as soon as her job sees it, they're going to be like, no, you have it wrong. She doesn't work here anymore. She did work here. She don't work here anymore. We fired her as soon as we saw the video, Mm-hmm. And so that stuff is still happening, but they want to be able to feel safe. When they put on a MAGA hat, that is the equivalent of them walking around with a Confederate flag on. Yep. It's a socially acceptable way to wear a Confederate flag. It's a socially acceptable way to wear white supremacist, racist, white nationalist paraphernalia. That's what it is. And that's why they love him. That's why they like voting for him. And they're part of a cult.
Yeah,
So
right. And my whole thing is what you're seeing with Donald Trump is how cults get started. It's the same recipe. The recipe doesn't change. You fake like your life is going on this certain way, and it's really not. Because Donald Trump owes so many people money, it's not even real. Real rich people don't live like that. Rich people don't fake it till they make it. Real rich people save, live well below their means, invest well, pop up rich. That's the way the average person gets rich. I'm not talking about people who become lottery winners, NBA winners, stuff like that. I'm talking about the average person who accumulates wealth to get into that class, live below their means, they save and invest, and then once they get to that goal, they might start buying a couple of nice things. And he's a pure faker.
Warren Buffett does not live in some gaudy Manhattan building with his name on it or some penthouse in Manhattan. Dude lives in like New Mexico and drives a pickup truck.
Yeah.
You know?
And secondly, he's a prime example of what I'm talking about. Warren Buffett didn't become a millionaire till age 50. Age 50 is when he became a millionaire, and then he just skipped right over millionaire, went straight to billionaire. But ladies and gentlemen,
and even like Bill Gates didn't go and buy some ridiculous palatial mansion in some place. Dude went up to, he was in Washington. He went up there and basically bought land that wasn't worth dick at the time because no one wanted to be up there, and turned it into something.
And I've been to his house. They just didn't let me get past the fence. But I mean, I went there. I was trying to get me a selfie with Bill. Hey, you know. But ladies and gentlemen, that's why I say this channel is not going to be faking anything till we make it. As we accumulate and learn, as we've been teaching you guys about the stock market, we're going to keep doing it. But we've got to somehow or another figure out a way to get these people that love Trump so much to fall off that coat horse, because it's going to be a long uphill fight until they get out of that daydream they're living in. So, Larry, number 2 was picked by the homegirl, Tressa C. And what do we have here? This brother right here, Larry, he needs to go into the Hall of Fame for helping black actors. I'm talking about the good brother that we know as Denzel Washington. Look at this right here. Denzel and Pauletta gave a once struggling Omari Hardwick a place to stay and paid to keep his career from being, his car from being repossessed. Now, Larry, this is the same brother that helped out Chadwick Boseman get into acting school in Europe, and no one ever knew about it till he died. He's helped Omari Hardwick. I've also heard about the things he did with Samuel L. Jackson, not necessarily help him get into acting, but to help him get bigger roles. I've also heard about some of the good things he's done for some other black people. At what point in time do we need to go ahead and just come on out and give Denzel the trophy that says, I am the number one, my brother's keeper?
Yeah, man. I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, I love hearing about stuff like this because you don't hear it from Denzel.
Nope.
You know, that is what I love to hear. It's like he's doing these things and people are talking about them years later. Like Omari Hardwick talks about it years later after he's successful. And he's like, yeah, man, I was broke. I was about to be out the game because my car was about to get repossessed. I don't have any place to live. And they took me in. That's just fantastic. And, you know, I have to be honest with you. I don't know if I'm putting that little dude in my house. I got a wife.
Well, Larry, I'm going to give you the Oprah answer. If you secure in your relationship, it shouldn't matter. You know, if you secure
I'm not sure I'm secure enough to have that pretty Negro around.
Oh my Lord.
I might just have to get him a hotel room.
Man, whatever. Whatever, you know, and you know, ladies and gentlemen.
In all seriousness, though, man. In all seriousness, I think that's dope. I think that's dope. I love hearing stories like that. And you hear them every now and then. You hear about stories like Denzel doing that. You hear stories about Shaq that just like goes out, straight up buys entire apartment buildings and just tells people you're living rent free for a while till you get on your feet. And I mean, you hear about people doing all kinds of stuff that's just, you know, that's just really kind of cool. So
he's definitely, he deserves an award.
You hear people do stuff like doing the like when back to school time would come around, I used to hear all these stories about, about actors and singers and other people and, black business folk that would just like pay for people's school clothes, and people, some people think like, oh, it's a luxury to get school clothes, but it's not really, because if you're a kid and you're growing like a weed and you were 9 the year before and you've been growing all summer and now you're 2 inches taller and 10 pounds heavier, your clothes aren't going to fit. You need new clothes. And so if you don't have money to buy them, I think it's great when you hear about these stories about people doing things, both small and large. So, and not as attention seeking either, not out there, talking about it. Not people like you hear, what's his name? Bill Maher always talks about, oh, I did this for you. I had you on my show and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Jay-Z even called him out on it because he was taking all kinds of credit for stuff Jay-Z did. And Jay-Z was like, well, damn, you just want to take credit for my whole career, don't you? And sort of shut him up. But I like it when people don't need all the accolades. They just do what they do. And, and they're the joy they get out of it is seeing the people that they help succeed.
Right. And that's one of the things I try to do with YouTubers and people doing their stocks and people doing their real estate. I think to some degree, you've got to be someone where in your heart, you feel comfortable with where you're at. And you're not doing this because you feel a debt to society. You're doing it because you genuinely want to see other people succeed. You want to network with these people because you're building a community when you help people progress. Right. Teach a man to fish. Don't just give him the fish. And you'll have a friend for life. You'll be able to talk about these things that you're going through. You're building a community when you help someone better themselves. And
right.
But we've got a world of so many people, ladies and gentlemen, who they might tell you they want to see you succeed, but they really don't. They tell you that to your face. And when you got to put the ass on the grass, that grass is going to be very brown, if you know what I'm saying. So shouts out to Denzel, man. Shouts out to Denzel.
Yeah, and there are a number of folks out there that do that. And I mean, Shaq talked about how he was broke after his Miami Heat contract. After he won that championship, he was pretty much broke. And he said that when he went out there, I guess to go talk with I think it was the not the Miami Heat with Orlando.
Right.
He said he was pretty much broke. And then when he was going out to LA and he met with Magic Johnson, and Magic Johnson was like, you need to get your financial life together. And he was like, you need to stop buying crap and start owning stuff.
Exactly.
And he credits Magic Johnson with basically saving his financial life. He was like, it was because of him and his mentorship that he has the stuff that he has today. Because he was blowing through money like there was no tomorrow.
I mean, when you come from nothing, because I've been there too, Larry, when you come from nothing and they don't teach you this stuff in school about money, invest. They don't teach you that shit in school. They just don't, and they should.
Right.
But I'm coming from the hood. I move up here to the Greensboro area for the first time, making 6 figures. I'm just walking around just because I can with like $2,000-$3,000 in my pocket. Just cause and buying Air Jordans, and y'all know how I bash buying Air Jordans now. Buying the newest cell phone. I had the newest Volvo. I mean, just doing stuff that. How is that going to help me 10 years down the road? And thankfully, I started listening to a consumer advocate named Clark Howard that at the very least taught me you need to be saving XYZ because in 10 years it grows. And I kept listening. Then I started learning how to invest in the stock market. Then I got turned on to real estate. And then I got on cruise control because after a solid, hardcore 5 years, getting my butt kicked, learning how to invest in all these things, your returns come back to you. And, I can't say enough about that, man. And we need more people doing that part too, Larry, which is why me and Larry continue to bring you guys financial videos. But unfortunately, the last video is not a financial video. The last video is about raising Kanan. And Larry. Guess who's directing Raising Kanan?
Oh man. I'm gonna say
you'll never guess it, but it's a brother, or at least some people call him a brother. I know how some of y'all pick on them light skinned, quote unquote, good hair dudes.
I don't know.
Take a look at that.
Mario Van Peebles?
Mario Van Peebles.
I almost said that.
Yeah.
I almost said that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, they have begun filming Raising Kanan with Mario Van Peebles, and I am a big fan because he did this show right here called Damages, and this is one of the best shows that ever came on TV. I know some of y'all missed out on it. Glenn Close is one of the greatest actresses in history. Rose Byrne is okay, but this show had Ted Danson. It had what's the husband from I can't think of her name, but he done that. You guys might remember this, Solo. This was basically a black RoboCop in essence.
Yeah,
it was okay. It was okay. That was kind of his first director credits, and then he moved on to Damages, and Damages was a hell of a show, ladies and gentlemen.
I like the Western he did.
I was gonna say he also did a Western. He did a movie with this young lady right here. Larry, how do you feel about the direction of Raising Kanan now? Because I was kind of not all that excited for it, because I feel like Power is just trying to reach out to a younger audience with all these young faces. But this is a list of the actors. You got Omar Epps. You got little buddy up there with 50 Cent that's going to actually be 50 Cent, young Kanan. You're going to have young Ghost. And you got your white dude that's going to be young Tommy that played in Shameless. How you feeling about it?
Where's he at on there? I don't see him in there.
He's not up there, but he's definitely in it. I've seen it. He's going to be playing young Tommy.
Yeah, I mean, it could be cool. It could be cool. I'm gonna reserve, I'll reserve judgment till later. It could be cool. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. I mean, I feel like they're really doing a whole lot with this, and I get it. The Power thing, Power was huge. They're trying to capitalize on it, get everybody into the whole, everybody wants to have a universe now, the whole Power universe. And so I get it, and hopefully it'll be good. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I did not think I was gonna like this one with Tariq, and I'm really enjoying this show. So, it could be good. We'll just have to see how it turns out.
I think it's gonna be good. I like the director. I like the people they're putting in the cast. But like I said, it just feels like they're doing more stories for, I guess, a younger audience. But this. Oh, you want to bring the baby in here? Oh Lord, we have a baby sighting.
Here we go.
Hey, baby,
Snow's about to get taken over.
Hey, baby. Hey, it's the
there
fam.
We go.
Hey, say hey, everybody. You don't like that bright light though, do you? You don't like that bright light? Like daddy's light? Yeah, you like daddy though, don't you? So everybody that's been wanting to see the baby, here's the baby, and she is getting big. She's 15 pounds now. 15 solid pounds. Ain't that right, baby?
There you go.
Ain't that right? Ain't that right, baby? You almost ready for the TV yourself, huh? Say, I got on my nightgown. I'm trying to chill. You need to go to sleep. That's what you need to do.
She's like, I gotta keep you up.
Get on out of here. I see her looking at my little stand back there. Bye, baby. So heavy still. I guess I'm gonna play with her in a few minutes, try to wear her down. But yeah, I'm with this move that they're doing, Raising Kanan. I think it's gonna be pretty decent. So we'll just have to check it out. Like Larry said, I didn't think that I wasn't too high on the Tariq story. And so far they've got me intrigued. They keep me coming back. But
yeah,
at some point in time, ladies and gentlemen, the Power universe is going to cease to have the sizzle that it currently has. And then I'll be interested to see what people are going to be watching then. Because me and Larry, we still gonna be watching and reviewing everything. And we notice how we
come out with some running shoes called the Reeks.
Hey, you know what? Reebok need to do it for them. There you go. Reebok Reek.
The Reebok Reeks. There you go.
The Reek
for
box.
making it for running through campus.
If they come out with a Reek box, I need to get my coins.
There you go.
You better not name it Reek box. I need to get my coins if you do that. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to shout out Nita the Diva. She's in the building. Be sure to subscribe to her channel. Just My Opinion Reviews. Our folk Brandon, he was in the building. Be sure to subscribe to his channel. We're probably going to have Nita the Diva on the show Friday.
I don't think we gave a shout out to 703.
Yeah, I got him when you had stepped away to go get that damn lock. You know what I'm saying? That was unnecessary. You didn't have to go get that lock. And when see that was Professor Migro right there. That's all it took, right there. Okay. Now, if I am able to get her on this show for an interview, you will not see Larry. Larry won't be up here. It's just going to be me doing it by myself because I don't need any distraction.
All the way to North Carolina and kick in the door and hop on the video.
And look at Mooch. See, Mooch. Come on, man. Mooch. Come on, Mooch. What is going on? Golly. Man, you know what, Larry, I'm done. I don't got nothing else to say. I'm done. We'll see you guys on Friday. Nita the Diva, I hope you're going to watch that new Salt Lake City Real Housewives. I know my wife is interested in that. I'm not going to watch it, but I'm going to expect you to watch it so you can give us some intel on the show. And somebody sent me and Larry an email because they want us to become, as Larry would say, special Negroes. they want us to review a movie that's coming out on December the 1st, and we'll drop that hint on you guys on Friday. So until then, don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe. Be sure to donate to those GA senators that are Democrats running, John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock, because, ladies and gentlemen, it is official. In order for the Dems to quell the chaos, they have to have those 2 seats in Georgia. I was posting about it on the very last video, and I'm going to mention it every video. Donate $5 to those races. And until the next Sexy as Hell video, me and Larry will see you guys on Friday.
Also,
go ahead.
Please continue to mask up.
Mask up, man.
I know I'm a broken record, but even today, it was something like 100,000 plus cases. This thing is out of control. Trump and his administration are doing absolutely nothing to stop it. They are just going to let this thing go stratospheric. And please, 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 triple please mask up. Protect yourselves, protect your neighbors, protect your family members. Mask up. All right.
Larry about to start a whole new conversation about how this dumbass Trump administration firing the Secretary of Defense. Then he actually fires the lady who is in control of the nuclear codes. How the hell are you going to fire her unless you're trying to do what Lamont Tyson has been said you want to do, which was get us into a war so that you can become the new king of the Southern Dixiecrat Trumpians and start a civil war in this country, if not with someone else. But on that note, I have a baby that I've got to go take care of. So we're out of here. We'll see you Friday.
Peace.
Peace.